Hey y'all. So, this topic is a little near and dear to my heart because I have been thinking about the fact that a lot of us force connections. And what I mean by that is, sorry, y'all. Y'all know me. I go with what comes up, and I just feel like this is important, but I feel like this will also trigger some people that may not want to hear this conversation. But I feel like it's vitally important. So everything that I'm speaking of, there are things that I have went through, things that I had to figure out, life lessons I may be currently learning or I've learned in some respect. And when it comes to forced connections, I've recognized, and sorry y'all, I have been struggling. Let me start off the video by saying this. I have been struggling the last 2 days. My body is struggling and I have been in immense pain. So I'm still currently in a lot of pain, whether it sounds like it or not. I have a very high pain tolerance um, because, as a woman, as a mom, you got to get stuff done. And so for me, I push past it, but you guys can hear it in my voice. People that care about me can see it in my demeanor. Um, I thought I carried it well, but I guess it's one of them times where, you got to take care of yourself before you can take care of other people. So, sorry for the side note. Let's get back to the video. So, talking about forced connections, I have had a history of connecting with people, meeting people, getting along with people, and I can see the best in people. I can see the potential in people. And if my spirit recognizes greatness, if my spirit recognizes something that excites my spirit or connects with my spirit, I am all in. Like I am completely connected, devoted, whatever you want to call it. And one thing that I'm learning later in life is that you meet people and you can connect and you can feel this amazing connection, vibe, whatever it is you want to call it. And other people can feel it too. I'm not just talking about romantic partners, I'm talking about friendships, I'm talking about business people, anything that you can talk. Anything that you can think of in terms of having to connect with other people, they can see it, they can sense it. Um, but not everybody is in a space to receive it. Not everybody's in a space to recognize and do something about it. That is what I was looking for. And when that happens and you're in a place of being able to flow in life and allow things to play out how they're supposed to, and you meet people who aren't, it is playing tug of war with your spirit. It feels like you are walking on eggshells. It feels like you're literally playing tug of war. That's how I want to explain it. It's like you're doing this pull back and forth, like you're trying to force these things to want to amplify this feeling that you have, or you want these connections to fester and grow into what you've seen them becoming. And the other end of this tug of war, they're pulling in the opposite direction because they are like, this is foreign, I'm not ready for this, or I'm not deserving. Like, whatever the case is in the dynamic, it is giving you resistance. And that resistance isn't feeding you. And so you feel like you're either going crazy, you feel like, am I misinterpreting what I am picking up on energy wise? And that the short answer is no. But the tough answer is Are you wise enough to understand and comprehend and act on the fact that you may have to walk away if the other side of that rope is pulling against what you are trying to pull together? Are you okay with walking away if the other side of that rope is pulling away from what you are trying to pull together? And I know a lot of people, you'll hear that and it won't sit well with you because it triggers some part of you. I want to use a different word. It it messes with the part of you that has to own accountability. You have to own your decisions. You have to sit with the fact that you have allowed yourself to be vulnerable in a space where the other party isn't vulnerable. They're not receptive. They're not in a place of compassionate understanding and being able to articulate and move forward and progress in this connection the way that would benefit both parties. And when it comes to that, you end up giving, pulling. Literally, when you think about tug of war, one person's pulling one person's pulling the other way. So essentially, you are in this state of like, I see the potential, I know what this can be. I'm in a higher state of knowing that, hey, if you just push through a little bit longer, it'll be worth it in the end. And so you are trying to pull this connection together. Like you are trying to make this thing happen, and the other party doesn't want it. You're forcing a connection. And that's why the title of this is, Are You Forcing a Connection? If you stop, this is the homework assignment for tonight. Sit down and think about every relationship that you have in your life. Um, and I want you to think about the last 10 encounters that you've had with the work situation, with your friend, with your romantic partner, um, with anybody that you're holding space for in your life. And think about if you are putting more energy in the connection than the other party. Now, granted, if you have a deep rooted spiritual connection with somebody or people in your life, and you understand that they may be in a season where they're going through something and that's not normal energy, but they've communicated with you, don't count that. We're not going to destroy or diminish amazing relationships because we're in a season of transition. But what we want to do is acknowledge and come to terms with the relationships that we have been holding together or being the glue for the entire connection, partnership, relationship, whatever you want to call it. And that's your starting point. And once you get there, you have to be okay with what comes up. A lot of times you're going to see something and you may try to downplay it. You can't do that. This is where we have to take ownership for our life. We have to take ownership for the relationships that are in our life. And the sad part is, a lot of times, if you are in or like to stay in a victim mentality, um, you will use these connections that are pulling you down or making you feel like you're exerting so much energy as a crutch to stay in the position that you are in. You will not allow yourself to become better because you're exhausting all of your creativity, all of your resources into pouring into something that is not pouring into you. And it's just time that you take your position back. And I say that kindly because I think as individuals, especially those with a very kind heart, You get in this place of wanting people to love, appreciate, and accept you the way that you love, appreciate, and accept them. And so people like to call it like being naive, over giving, love bombing, whatever. And I think that saves space for people to put a title on something. But when you're actually in it, it's coming from a place of I want to find other individuals who can pour, give, and love me the way that I pour, give, and love into others. And so this exercise in itself, and a lot of the other exercises that are going to come up when you have to release the hold that you've had on people, um, it's going to show the 85% of the population that is self motivated and they appreciate the love, the energy, the time, the resources that we pour into them so naturally and so heavily. They take advantage of it. They want it. And I'm not saying take advantage of it in a victim way. I'm saying take advantage of it because oftentimes people want that, and that's why they'll allow it to happen with no intent of pouring it back into the individual or people. Um, because they're missing that in their life. And it's a two-folded street. And I plan to do a series going into the other side of why some of the people that benefit off of the more overgivers, the open-hearted, the wear your heart on your sleeve individuals, we're going to dive deeper into the other side of that dynamic as well. But for now, I want to talk about the people who wear their heart on their sleeves because essentially I am that person. I've just learned to put boundaries in place, and as things come up, it's a never ending journey. But as things come up that I see that can create or have been unhealthy patterns, I am learning to share that with you all so that you guys can hopefully take this advice, use it, utilize it, process it, and do something with it that will help put you in a healthier state. So, getting back to this force connection, there's so many different dynamics that come into play with this. I feel like the number one caveat is that when you recognize where you're holding the weight of these connections, relationships, and partnerships, and you start to pull back, you start to take that over over giving of love and pour it into yourself, you'll start to get pushback from the people that were benefiting from it. Um, you will start to hear phrases that make you feel like you're selfish, that your love is superficial, that you can take it away when you feel like it. And you're going to hear it and you have to deal with that. You're going to have to sit with it. You're going to have to process it. But when you know that you're taking it away to pour it into yourself, to assert boundaries so that you are not ran over, so that um, you can see clearly what the partnership, relationship, what the connection is, what the benefit is for both parties, what the places that need areas for improvement are, and you can sit down and have a conversation with that person. When you are pulling away to be able to see clearly what the connection is in general, there is no selfish motive behind it. That is what connections are supposed to be. And the deeper you go into this healing journey for yourself, the more enlightened you'll become into meeting people and immediately being able to pick up if a connection is in alignment with where you are, where you're trying to go. And you'll be able to have conversations to navigate through those in the moment so that they don't become soul connections that you later have to part from after a lot of emotion has been involved. And so, with that, I want you guys to know that this is a beautiful journey. You are the way that you are for a reason. You have made it this far for a reason. Do not beat yourself up. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself grace. Understand that none of what you've went through, none of what you're going through, none of what you are going to experience is in vain. The people that have come into your life have taught you lessons. They've amplified you. They showed you what you desire to continue for the rest of your life or what you don't desire to have in your life at all. Either way, be grateful for it. Gratitude gets you a long ways. Um, if you're a prayer warrior like myself, pray for clarity in the situations. Pray that each person that you are connected to, that their intentions be revealed, and that you are able to navigate wholly and healthily because you're not strong enough on your own, but ask for the strength to be able to make the decisions that need to be made so that you can become the best version of yourself. I know that you can do it. I'm doing it. I've done part of it. Still working on, like I said, it's an everyday journey. It's never going to stop. It only becomes deeper with the days that go by and the people that you meet along the way. Yes. So I hope that this made sense to you guys. Those of you guys that get it, like, comment, share, subscribe, do all of the beautiful things to show love, interact with me, let me know your thoughts, help me help you. And I hope that this serves somebody. I love you all, and I hope that you guys have an amazing evening.